Today's AskReddit post. What are dark secrets about the porn industry that people should know? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. A trafficked 15-year-old was found on Pornhub. Almost 100 videos. She was verified by Pornhub while trafficked. WTF. I hope Pornhub deleted everything. I saw a post a few months ago by a girl who keeps finding videos on Pornhub that were taken of her being raped while apparently very obviously underage. She said she reports them over and over to Pornhub and they are rarely taken down. As if in this situation she hasn't already been traumatized enough. She also has to try and police the distribution of those videos seemingly alone against a company that didn't seem to give a shit about it. And the post on Reddit had seriously disgusting people asking for a link to the video. Number. That is honestly just the horrible icing on the horrible cake. Like, this whole situation is awful, but why say something so unbelievably shitty to a child trafficking victim? For the lols? Many of the 18-year porn stars were recruited when they were 16 or 17. Damn. That's ducked up. Do they film at 16, 17 or is it just recruitment? As far as recording it's almost always when they are 18 but I wouldn't doubt they practice beforehand. That's some creepy shit. A lot of actors takes a lot of drugs. Like a lot. Plus basically every male actor gets erectile dysfunction after being in the business for so long as they are pumped up on Viagra. Too much blow and the cock won't grow. Too much white and your dick ain't right. Too much speed and your peen won't breed. Too much toot and your dong won't shoot. Not sure if it's been said yet but the outdoor or public scenes require permits to shoot. 80% of the time the crew shows up with a police scanner and cheeses it before the cops show up. Edit yes folks. There's worse out there than evading paperwork filing costs in the porn industry. But when posting initially I really expected this to be overlooked. Also cheese it is an outdated term apparently. Didn't know this before googling it just now. But cheese it means run away. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Kind stranger. Also, I definitely wasn't expecting this comment to blow up like this. Watch some old cartoons of Three Stooges etc. Cheese it. It's the cops comes up surprisingly often. Or Futurama. Rua but how uos. Most men in gay porn are straight. They just get paid more for taking it up the bum. Edit. To all of those saying that doing gay porn makes you gay, I'll say this. Doing something you don't really enjoy, but pretending you're happy is what the rest of us call a day's work. Edit 2. Thanks for upvotes and awards. I'm surprised my answer got so popular. I'm afraid I can't answer all your comments, but I've enjoyed reading the ones I've seen. Thank you. 18. 500 kind strangers. Yep. As a gay person, most of the things I see on gay porn sites is gay for pay, aka literally being paid for gay sex. The only thing that gets me harder than anal sex is capitalism. Sex cauldron? I thought they closed that place down. You can't say sex in front of the children. The whole tons of Viagra thing is absolutely true and so is the bit about casting directors playing fast and loose with STDs. I have a friend that once turned down a shoot for a gay porn at a campground because none of the actors were required to be tested beforehand. A few of them ended up contracting HIV from that shoot. You could tell all the guys during the late 90s early 2000s were jacked up on steroids and Viagra. Eric Everhard is a great example. The guys were built like football players. They had tiny, shriveled up testicles from the roids and their chests and faces were super red from Viagra. They all looked like they had sunburns on their chest, necks and face. That was a Viagra flush. Eric Everhard. LOL'd. Male porn names are a hidden gem of literary prowess. My favorite gotta be Rod Rockford, Brock Landers and Chest Rockwell. Oh, I also used to drive some exotic dancers 2 or 3 cities to do regular doctor appointments. They never felt safe going local because they always get recognized and people get creepy. Not sure if that counts as porn industry but I'd imagine the same rules apply. Japanese people have normal genitalia. Their junk isn't actually pixelated in real life. Wait, they don't have lightsaber dicks? At first I thought it was their dicks making a whining sound. Then I realized it was actually the women. Yes, but why does Yua Makami squirt so damn much? Who is Yua Mika NVM? I'm going to do the research myself for my friend. I don't think people realize just how many videos contain people being trafficked. Edit. Because this has gained much more attention than I anticipated. I'll elaborate some, but I encourage you to research this more. Today, there is an estimated 30 million people that are being trafficked. This is modern day slavery. Children, women, and even men are bought and sold as property for the purposes of being a sex slave, forced labor, or even organ harvesting. It is so repulsive and yet so hidden and unknown. The sad thing is, many children get caught up in this after natural disasters or other tragic situations. For example, with the recent explosion in Lebanon, criminals may set up orphanages that are not registered with the state, and just like that a child can be taken. I learned much of this from a podcast episode with Timothy Owens as a guest on the Candace Owens show. Even if you aren't conservative, this is a good, objective and informative discussion to listen to. Thank you if you read this entire thing. I just felt I needed to use this opportunity to give a voice to the unheard. This is why you gotta watch animated CGI porn. The only porn where no one is harmed, except for the most likely overworked and underpaid animators. Alright, extra curvy piece of driftwood it is. Those orgasms aren't real. Hot Girls Wanted, produced by Rashida Jones, explores most of the seedy practices discussed in here. Seen it and can highly recommend it. Also its follow-up film. Edit. The follow-up film is actually a 6-part series, but it's very bingable, so I forgot that it is not a movie. Hot Girls Wanted and Hot Girls Wanted Turned On are both available on Netflix. It's a great film, and I agree with it, but I also came out of it thinking Rashida Jones is a bit of a hypocrite. Those sizes are not natural, and the actors usually don't last an hour. They just edit the shootings they did. Edit. Wow. My most upvoted comment is about dicks 3 times bigger than mine. Note that, as someone else has pointed out down here, another big thing, pun intended, is the camera angle. They are shot with the purpose of making the dick look bigger. So watch out with your dick pics. Who even watches for an hour? Give me the 6-minute condensed version. I got shit to do. TL. DW. Too long. Dick wasted. Too long. Don't wank. It was once legal in some countries to use children. 1. Amateur homemade 18yo vids are likely not 18. 2. The industry gives no shits about protecting minors. If it were legal they'd go as low as they could. C. Japan. Color Climax. Tracy Lords. Tracy Lords' case is especially despicable due to all the hate she received when it came out she was 16 in her vids and 14 in her pinups, as well as the fact that in 1987 they made a porn film about her sexual exploitation. 3. Pornhub specifically makes it especially difficult to get minors taken down from the site even if you report multiple times. Several famous minors are actually recommended search terms. 4. Not really the industry, but whenever there's a high profile rape in the news the victim's name becomes a popular search terms on all sites. Number 4 made me uncomfortable as duck. Humans are degenerated animals. Some people are so damn sick in the head. Shit like this doesn't surprise me anymore. p0rn Hub had a missing 15 as a verified model. Not the first, and certainly won't be the last unfortunately. Some girls are tricked into filming the video. They're promised to do some modeling and when they arrive they find out that it's more than just a few pictures. Porn is a big human trafficking industry. Nowhere near as rampant and dangerous as child trafficking, but it's still very active. Came to comment from personal experience. I'm not in the adult entertainment industry, but I booked a boudoir photoshoot a few years back to surprise my boyfriend. And I booked with this amazing photographer. I was raped during the photo shoot. A video recorder was on the entire time that of course captured everything and the video went to the black market. The photographer was actually deep into sex trafficking, but these traffic rings stay 100 steps ahead at all times that the police investigation became cold very fast. God ducking damn, I shed a tear for you. That is awful. I hope you got the help you needed, you kind soul. I have cried tears that could replenish the ocean. Trauma PTSD is tolling. I was totally in denial the first 2 years, but this year, I invested in my healing, so I'm getting better each day. Purple Heart. Good luck on your continued recovery. James Dean, the famous porn star who made a killing by looking like an authentic, genuine dude, is a rapist according to several co-stars and his ex-girlfriend Stoya. But the porn industry didn't get a Me Too movement, so he's still in porn and Stoya isn't. And it wasn't even a ducking secret. The grooming and locking. If you've never heard of locking, it's basically when a group of girls doing porn are living together, typically, and they are pressured to spend their money by producers who claim to be their friends. The goal here is to diminish any sort of saving money thought process, and they make it out like the money will never stop coming. This keeps them broke and making doing more shoots. That was in the after porn documentaries on Netflix when I think the doc was called Hot Girls Wanted if I remember correctly. That if you had sex with a guy and it was uploaded to PH, then you literally have no rights to remove that video. Put Disney music in the background when filming. No one messes with the mouse. They never let it go. A whole new world of lawsuits. Porn isn't a how-to guide for your own sex life. Wait, you're telling me I shouldn't just unsuspectingly stick it in my sister's butt? You mean stepsister? The titles are always iffy with that. This is a well-done thing. They're almost all prostitutes. Most people don't put 2 and 2 together. But yes, it is easier to persuade a prostitute to do a porn than it is to persuade actors and actresses to do it. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. The industry was very tight-knit and closed off, but everyone knew people in the industry in some capacity. It is easier to persuade a prostitute to do a porn than it is to persuade actors and actresses to do it. This also works both ways, I'd bet. If they do just go to porn from regular life, it's probably easier to then convince someone who is already having sex for money on camera to also have sex for money off camera. Of course not all porn stars will do it, but it only makes sense to me that making that jump to prostitution is going to be more common for them than it is for other people on average. I think this is true more than we realize. I used to enjoy this one amateur video. The girl was exactly my type of what I look for. Anyways, many of the comments were talking about how she is a prostitute, or some people surprised that they had actually taken her as an escort at some point and you can find her here or there. Someone posted her name, so just out of curiosity I looked her up. First hits were her arrest records for solicitation. Looks like a completely different person now. Like drugs, alcohol have just taken a serious toll on her. It later came out that the company was more than shady and would often hire girls to do private porn videos for rich investors in far-off lands, and the videos were for private collections. Of course no. They immediately went online, and often with the girls' real names attached and what city they were from. I can only imagine the lives they ruined. But you have to wonder, was she an escort before and took the job and was already into a hard life before, or did the shady dealings of this company force her down that life if a normal life got exposed and she was abandoned by friends and family? I feel bad now and avoid that video. But you have to wonder, was she an escort before and took the job and was already into a hard life before, or did the shady dealings of this company force her down that life if a normal life got exposed and she was abandoned by friends and family? Obviously no idea about that specific case, but I suspect in reality both, and other methods of ending up there happen. My guess would be people already in a tough situation are the majority, but there will always be exceptions. I suspect if we knew the full background and how they ended up there etc for all porn videos, a whole lot of us would suddenly feel much less comfortable watching a lot of stuff we liked before. Ignorance is bliss and all that. Drugs, abuse, lie, and eat hot chip. Charge they phone, McDonald's, twerk. I know a girl who did some porn and she started doing it when she was only a teenager, except all her porn videos were labeled 18+. 18 as a teenager? I think they meant like 16-17 age range. Nowadays, it's very similar to a studio style 9-5 job. Nobody is really making a lot of money anymore. I've been in and out of it for about 25 years. It's morphed into this industry where smarter people use pornography to build a brand. The people that were popular 25 years ago wouldn't get far today because they were primarily only interested in getting paid upfront for shooting scenes. If I'm going to do this, I want $300. Those types. So, those people could go out and get paid $600 per film, which was great money back in 2001. Many people busted their asses to make as much content as they could, but there was no residual income after that. So that's why in the late 90s and early 2000s, there were simply so many films. Now, the women are tracking their income on the back end with things like Snapchat and OnlyFans. It's not a cleaner industry by any means. When you say it isn't a cleaner industry, how is it not if more models are moving to OnlyFans and self-promoting producing? Wouldn't the increased autonomy mean less abuse, fair compensation, and obviously consented performance and distribution? I think they're using clean in a work transaction manner. Very cut and dry. Before, show up, do the work, get paid, and go home. Now, lots of gray area, paycheck uncertainty, go to hustle and market yourself, and more competition. They may be safer now from abuse, but the trade-off is there's less structure and not everyone can cut it as a freelance contractor in that industry or any, really. The porn industry is very toxic and the actors are treated very badly. This is just from memory, but I'm gonna keep trying to find where I heard this. But yet, hasn't there been at least 2-3 famous pornsters that quit or took breaks because the hardcore scenes were just the guys kicking the shit out of the girls while ducking them? I know there was one guy who was infamous for doing that, but I can't remember his name. Edit. The one I was thinking of, James Dean. But I'm not surprised there's a solid 5-6 more famous ones that I've just been sent. Yuck. Fuck porn. Shit industry. Porn seems to have turned into incest. Spitting, slapping and choking. It's tough if you like a little light bondage. But aren't into a woman tied into a pretzel with her breasts squeezed until they are purple and 2 siblings hate ducking her. Popular porn sites are full of videos of child rape, and revenge porn. A lot of the time porn sites will refuse to take these videos down, even when they're pointed out to them and reported. One example of this is Rose Kalemba, who was raped when she was 14, and videos of her rape were uploaded to Pornhub. But Pornhub refused to take down the videos until Rose threatened them with legal action. The sheer amount of physical violence, sexual assault and rape the actresses, and the actors in gay porn are put through. Multiple actresses have come out and said that they have to do exactly as the producer tells them, even if it involves something they didn't consent to, or they don't get paid. In other words, they either get raped or they don't get paid. The average life expectancy of a porn star is 37 years. Dying by suicide is disturbingly common. Edit. Apparently the 37 years is most likely false, but there are still a disturbingly large number of suicides among former and even current porn stars. Holy shit, the last one. That's ducking depressing. Yeah, I was thinking the same. I don't know how accurate that age is for the industry overall, but given the number of individual suicides I've read about online combined with the drug abuse, it seems plausible. They, mainly Pornhub, but most sites do it, turn a blind eye to human trafficking because that rings in over 1/3 of their profits through these homemade videos. Also, there was a petition to get Pornhub taken down for this. Pornhub actively removes any criticism on Reddit using the admins. You'll receive at minimum 3-day suspension, or perhaps more, just for mentioning that they consistently fail to remove child porn or non-consensual rape videos. Just Google Pornhub fail to remove videos. 2-minute account. Edit. It's under harassment on the content policy. Pornhub does not remove child porn aka underage kids videos. Now to wait and see the ban come in. Why would you do it with a 10-year-old account? User throwaway. Dedication. When pornsters are getting naked, they are actually getting dressed for work. Jazz music stops. Pornhub has already been directly involved with human traffic of a teenage girl. There were 100 videos of her. She was verified. Pornhub literally supported pedophilia, human traffic and rape. She was only 15. I never heard any follow-up about what happened. Did they find her? Does anyone know if she is okay now? Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.